Hello, hello, it's Carrie, So Much Glitter. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bells, and then you'll be notified when I come out with content. I have recently been going live every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So for now, I'm gonna keep that schedule, and then I'm gonna keep trying to put out a video or two in the interim in the middle of the week. So today I want to go ahead and make a few 5x7 cards, and I'm going to use a kit from the Gingerbread Prince, and this is the Midnight Masquerade kit. Now I just printed out things from the ephemera kit because she has a junk journal kit to go with this, and it's gorgeous. I'm going to link everything down below and you can go take a look at that. And then I do have a special coupon code for you for a discount if you are interested. I thought that this could be a Valentine's Day inspired kind of card, and I know it's a little bit darker and it's a Midnight Masquerade, so that's why it's Valentine's Day inspired. And I love the colors in it. I love the ephemera, and I think I have a few extra pieces of paper kind of in the way. But I just love the detail on this paper. I mean, she's done such a good job with designing this, and this just reminded me of like older wallpaper. So we're just going to kind of flip through for some more ephemera, and I'm hopefully going to use some of those more solid sheets as background. It's just, everything's like elegant and perfect for a Midnight Masquerade, right? Like there's so much detail just alone in the earrings and what they're wearing. And then I have some inspiration for this. I kind of want to use the ephemera tidbits for those frames. I thought that this was perfect with the tickets on it. And then I did print out some of the Masquerade script elements on tea-dyed paper. And I like to do this a lot to make something look really vintage, because this does have the detail in it and the letters already crinkled. And so is my tea-dyed paper a little bit. So that can be a fun element for the card. I just keep going through the tags. I really liked these. I really love the age of the tickets and how they are kind of grunged up a little bit. And then of course we have our sentiments. We love getting the sentiments with the kit. So we're going to get further into that. And I thought we could do some fussy cutting elements with these too. So I am going to start out by making my card bases, because I do not have any 5x7 card bases in my stash. I don't make those as much as I do the A2s, and when I do, I go through them fairly quickly, and I use them up so then I don't have more. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to just cut. I have a cardstock piece of paper. This is about 110-pound weight. I am going to cut this down to 10 is what I'm going to do, and I'm still getting used to this trimmer, but I think I do like it. I could not find replacement blades for my other trimmer, which got to be really much in the way of not being able to find replacement blades for that. So I did just get a new trimmer, and this was on sale, and I had like a Michael's gift card. So this can also score, but I do not have the scoring blade in it. So what I'm going to do is just cut down a few of these sheets. So I'm going to end up cutting it down to a 10 by 7, and 10 is going to be on the long edge and 7 is going to be on the shorter edge. And then we're going to have scraps, which will probably fit perfectly with the sentiments, and then we're going to go ahead and score that. So let's just do a few more of these. So I have on the long edge, see, it's pretty thick paper. I always feel like I have 2 in here. So I do tend to gravitate more towards the thicker cardstocks for my card bases, just kind of out of habit. But now that I'm getting into like layering and all of those elements, I'm not needing that thick of a cardstock to make the structure thick, because once we layer everything all up, we know it gets thick and stable all on its own. So we're just going to continue to cut down 10 by 7. I hope everyone is having a fabulous day. We just had a long weekend, which was fabulous. I got to spend some great time with my grandson. I got out and got to do a few things. And then I also had to write a paper and I was able to relax. So I'm a big fan of let's have a 3-day weekend every weekend because I can really get a lot accomplished and I still have me time at the end of it. So that kind of walks me into the week feeling a little bit better. I am going to get out my scoreboard as I have all of my trimmers falling around me. So now we've trimmed it all down to a 10 by 7. And let's hope that I've done that evenly because I've been known not to do that evenly. I think I might have gone over a little bit. It's not exactly at the 7, but I'm just gonna go with that. We're gonna score it at 5. I'm gonna fold this. And then there, so I am a little bit short right there. That's just that's my doing. So that's how it probably is going to be for all of them because I didn't line it up with the 7 perfectly, but I can trim that off. I'm not really worried about that. So I will probably just go ahead and trim those down. I know on my live on this last Sunday, if you want to catch that, you could go watch that project. I did a fun upcycling project from a tea box and it worked out really well. But we were talking about we don't enjoy the measuring task of crafting, right? We don't, like, yeah, we have like probably 10 rulers in our stash, things like that. But when it comes down to like measuring every little nook and cranny of your project, that does get to be a little bit tedious. And I'm glad because I brought it up and because I was just measuring by my, I'm going to trim this down just a little bit so it's going to even up. I was just measuring by each spot that I needed to fill up in my project, and I would have my handy dandy pencil out, and that's just how I was going to do it. And then when I said something about it, oh, the Crafters United, they were like, yes, no, we hate measuring. So this is probably not going to be a perfect 5 by 7 because I missed that 7-inch mark just a little bit, but you know, if somebody feels they need to measure my card after I've given it to them, I'm okay with taking them off of that list, you know? Okay, so now I'm just gonna line it up a little bit. Yeah, now we are perfect. Still just a little bit over, but it's okay. Now they're all even. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to decide what I want for a background for one of my cards. I really do like this background a lot, and I can trim that down. I also am really drawn to this one, so I think I'm going to start with that one and bring my trimmer back into the equation because I could not do borderless printing. I have trouble with, that's not an option for me when it's a PDF that I've downloaded, and that's how this came. So I might need to go in deeper into my settings to kind of figure that out. But it's okay. We'll be fine. And I'm just going to trim this down just a little bit. And I don't want to keep you guys too long because it is kind of midweek, but we all need a little bit of a midweek break and some crafting time and inspiration and some downtime midweek too, right? Like, that's how we kind of wear ourselves out. We're at the beginning of the year. It's not really a race. It's more or less going to be a sprint at this point. Okay. Or, I mean, it's not going to be a sprint. It's going to be, you know, like the tortoise and the hare. So, because we're so early into the year, we don't need to race into everything. Okay, so this, you could say this is a little bit directional. You know what? Either way looks fine to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this down. This will be my 5 part. And then we'll trim it down 5 by 7. So while I'm still kind of getting used to these measurements here, I might just end up being a little bit off, which is okay. So I am just a tad bit off, but I'm going to glue it and then trim that down because I don't want to keep lobbing it off and it will be too short. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to straighten out my little mat here. I have a little cover for my glass mat. I love this mat. It's from Glassboard Studios. I purchased the new New Year's matte, so I like it, but it shines with my ring light. So I have kind of this matte layer right here that I like to work on. Okay, so of course I did not close my glue when I was finished crafting last time, because why would I have, I guess. That just kind of is me. And let's shove it in here. It's gonna be probably, because the glue is dry. There we go. So I'm just gonna kind of get that needle down in the nozzle and then unscrew it. And then we'll go ahead and put glue on the back of our paper. And I've had quite a few questions about what is this apparatus that I'm using with my glue. And this is a glue press. And I purchased mine directly off of my Sweet Petunia when it first came out. So I've had this for a little bit. But I think scrapbook.com has it now. If you're a fan of May, I know I am. Her website carries it. You could buy it direct. Like, there's so many places that you could get one now. But it really helps my hands. I don't get as fatigued as fast, and I'm not just sitting there shaking my glue bottle or priming a glue bottle the whole craft, which can get really tedious, right? Okay, so I just had to trim that off a little bit on that side, maybe a little bit down here. Like, it's not gonna really be necessary, but just so it's kind of flush. There we go. So this is going to be the background for my first card. I'm going to keep today's card making fairly simple, because I like it when the kit can really speak for itself, and I can just add some embellishments, and that's how we are going to, you know, that'll just kind of complete the card. That's how it's going to be. Okay. Let's see, I had ideas for this, but I'm not sure it'll match this. I think it would, I like it here because this really reminds me like this could be on somebody's wall, right? So I like that. I really love these seals. So let's do some layering, and maybe there is, well, let me go through all of them. I do like these too. Okay. I'm thinking we could put, maybe this could be like an invitation, or, you know, like you're being invited out for Valentine's Day by somebody. This could be a Galentine's Day or just a Valentine's gift, right? And maybe you got them tickets to go somewhere, and this is how you want to surprise them. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this. I am probably, well, I was going to say I'm probably going to go get my decorative scissors, but I'm going to try to just fussy cut this the best I can and try to get some of that torn paper look in there. I could have probably just torn this as well, but I didn't, and so here we are, just fussy cutting. I don't mind doing the fussy cutting. I like it. I know a lot of people call it cussy cutting, and they don't really like it because it can get very frustrating and it can get really tedious, and there's lots of little nooks and crannies to cut in and out, and you know, sometimes I just don't worry about those. Sometimes I just lob those off because it, you know, perfection for me is just kind of like an illusion, and as long as I'm happy with it, that'll shine through in the craft, right? So I think this will look perfect right here because we have the ticket. I want to, I don't know if I want this to go on the inside or the outside, probably the inside of the card. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to save this for the inside of a card as well. I think that's a lot of fun. So that'll be the inside. Let's embellish her up just a little bit. What are some of the fun elements for a masquerade, a midnight masquerade party, right? And since this is the ephemera kit, there's a lot in here to look at, and I'm just gonna keep going through everything. I'm probably gonna use something out of here. I really like that mask or this mask, but I feel like this is too matchy with that, so I want a little bit of a contrast. And like I said, I did get this from the Gingerbread Prince And I'm going to link everything below, so you can just click on the link and go straight to her website. She has lots of goodies there. And this, I don't have to concentrate too hard on the whole fussy cutting element, because there's like a little highlight right here. So I can choose to cut up to the line if I want, or I can just keep that little highlighted area, which is kind of nice because that can alleviate the need to ink blend around it, because I tend to ink blend around the things that I fussy cut, because some of my cuts just aren't perfect, and that hides that a little bit. So having this fun little shadow layer, oh, I cut that one off a little bit too much, but that's okay. But having this fun little shadow layer really helps kind of add, right? I think I want to matte that, but let's get a few more elements on here and see what we can come up with. Oh, see, this had the candle attached to it. That's really, really cute. Okay, so I think I'm gonna pick one of these pendants right here. I'm gonna try to cut up around it, so I'm only focused on that. And I know this is because it's a Midnight Masquerade, so this is a pretty dark, I'm leaning towards this one. It's a pretty dark color concept anyway, so I want to kind of elevate the color just a little bit. But if you wanted to keep everything dark and sensual and relaxing on your card, you could do that too. I just like the color contrast. I am going to go in my stash though and get, I'm thinking a dark green piece of paper would look really good with that. Or I could use the stuff from the kit now that I just got an idea. So we'll kind of try to see if that works out too. Okay, I could use these. Like I said, I was going to put this on the inside of the card, but I think I have a different idea for the inside of the card. I could layer this or this, right? Maybe pick a bigger one. And we could kind of layer around that. I don't want to cover up too much of it. Like this is covering up the whole thing really. So I'm probably going to look to see what I like a little bit better. I do like this. This would be fun. This one's a little bit bigger, so this would make a little bit more sense. And we could kind of put that there, and then let's see our pendant down here. Just see if we like that. I'm gonna also kind of, okay, let's see. I'm not totally sold on it. Okay, so I have a few matte, like the matte shiny cardstock I purchased from Anna Griffin a while ago. I do have that. This is really bright, but I kind of like it because I think it contrasts with what's going on really well. But let's just keep looking. The black is always like real sleek looking. That's really nice, right? That looks really nice, really sophisticated. That's a good contender. I think I'm gonna not do the silver because I realized, excuse me, that this is the gold. I'm making a mess already. Okay. Okay, so we have the gold right here. Okay, we did get cut off a little bit, but no worries. That will, when I semi-edit the video, that will just kind of come, it'll kind of come through because my phone cut off, the phone that I'm recording on. Okay, so I think I want to do the gold because I think it plays up on this theme really well. And I had this upside down. So, and then I think it highlights the colors on her really well. So I'm just gonna glue this directly down and then cut around it. And one good thing about doing like a layering 5x7 card is there's really no right or wrong. It doesn't need to all be symmetrical. It kind of takes on more of like a collage-y look, if you will. And I'm not mad about that. It's a lot more free-flowing than needing to get everything just precise, and it has, oops, a real fun, like artsy look about it. So of course I put just a little too much glue, but it's wiping off nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to mat this a little bit. I used to do a lot more die cutting than I do now. So if you are a die cutter, I would suggest maybe not using this whole sheet, maybe putting like a little word die or something right here, because you really just want to get the matting element of it. And you could die cut like, excuse me, you could die cut like a word right here. I have the, I have the hiccups. But you could like die cut like a word right here. I guess don't eat lunch and then film, right? So I'm just probably gonna, and I might layer some like flower behind it or something. I don't know. But anyway, so that's my little tidbit to you. I might raise my elements is what I might do to just kind of elevate it just a little bit. So like these elements can be raised. This needs to go directly like that. So this just kind of gives you, I like the 5x7 because a lot of these elements are fairly large. This would have probably worked okay on an A2 size card as well, but I wanted to get everything in there. So I'm going to glue her down. She's just going to go straight glued down. And since I really don't need any die cut words right now, I'm not going to do that part of it, but that was just my little tidbit from me to you. If you do a lot of die cutting and you pre-cut like die cut words and things like that, it's really nice to be able to maximize your paper, because this paper was not cheap. I got this off of from Anna Griffin, but off of like HSN, I believe. And I'm gonna get out my dimensional tape. I think is back here. And I really love this stuff, the world's best foam tape from Pear Blossom Press. Although every time I've gone on their website, they're sold out of it. But I really do like it because it's a permanent adhesion, but it you have a little bit of wiggle room, like a wet glue, right? Like it's not permanent for a little bit. So I would, if I were to make a mistake, I could reposition it as long as like my paper was cooperating with me. I could do that. And like I said, I don't know if this paper, I use koala photo paper for my printables, and it's double-sided matte cardstock, and it works really, really well. But I don't think it wants to, and this, you know, it's sticking out a little bit above it, which is, I'm okay with that. I'm not mad about that. But if you were trying to put it in an envelope or something, you might want to watch your positioning. But honestly, I could just make an envelope for it to go into. Like, I haven't been mailing out a whole lot of cards lately since it went up so much. Like, I did not mail out Christmas cards this year, and not because I wasn't going to, it's because I got busy. I made the Christmas cards, but I got really busy being on the last half of my master's degree, so I just didn't have time. So I think I'm just going to put this straight on instead of at an angle. So I lifted those elements up. I really like how this is coming together. Okay, so what I wanted to do for the inside of the card, so we want to get this out, and because maybe the recipient needs the details of the masquerade party. We don't know, because we're giving them a ticket, right? It's just like a fun little story can come together with one card. Okay, so I'm going to pick out one of these. Excuse me, my throat's getting dry. One of these sentiments, and there's strip sentiments. I love it how she did this all in one. We wear the mask that grins and lies. There is that. At midnight, even secrets come out to dance. So that would be fun. Has a face there. Never show. She was both the mystery and the masquerade. I really like that one. Remove the mask only when the music stops. Some secrets are too beautiful to stay hidden. The moon is the only witness I trust, which these days in 2026, girl, tell me about it. So let's see. She was both the Mystery and the Masquerade. I like that one. I'm just gonna cut this out. And because I do have a little bit of this left, let's see if we can mat this. Now, if I was smart, I could be using my paper trimmer to trim this down so I get like an even cut. I'm not doing that. I'm taking it by chance. And we could highlight, like mat this to highlight the sentiment, to kind of give it a little bit more zhuzh, if you will. And this isn't cut perfectly straight either, but we will be fine. Okay. Another thing I really like about this matte foil cardstock is that it doesn't scratch up really easy. Like my glue seeping on it and I'm able to wipe the glue off just fine. Right, I'm gonna save these. I'm gonna save these big strips too, so I'm gonna have to decide to do that when I'm done. Okay, this is going to go on the inside, and then I'm going to fussy cut this. I might be a little bit too low. I'm looking to see. And I really love printing on tea dyed paper because it just gives it that fun vintagey look. I really like it. It's just like it's an old letter, right? I have made a few journal cookbooks, and those are here on my channel, but I really like printing out recipes online and putting them in my cookbook, and I like printing the recipes out on my tea dyed paper because I just think it gives it just like a real authentic feel. And a lot of these that I've done that with for my cookbook, they're recipes that I've used over the years as well. I can also go in some of my cookbooks, because I love cookbooks, and take pictures and then print them out that way. And so we're just going to leave this to be a mystery, and this is going to be a fun little tip, up. Okay, so I'm going to get my Tim Holtz tape, the cello tape. I love this stuff. I consistently see it at Hobby Lobby now, and Amazon has it as well, and they're about the same price. So just depends on where you are when you need it, and it'll be there. Okay, I am going to, I had a blending, here it is. I was like, I had a blending brush, and I have my brush poured right out because I just did my live yesterday, and I'm just gonna kind of tap it off and just go with the whole vintagey vibe. Okay. And continue to clean off clean off the brush. And I'm gonna do the corners just a little bit darker, and that, oh, I forgot to glue the sentiment down. Look at me. Okay. Let me glue the sentiment down. I was so excited about the tip up that I didn't glue the sentiment down. Okay. So there is this card, and that's covered up. I'm going to stamp my personalized stamp on the back of it. And I always use a little piece of foam. I have like a little foam board that I purchased, oh gosh, well before COVID. I found this at Hobby Lobby because Hobby Lobby used to have a lot of Sizzix, and she was with them, I think, at the time. And I'm just going to put this right in the middle. There we go. And then I did inky up that, so I'm going to try to erase that with my mono eraser. But you could buy these directly off of her website too. I really love the foam board. You could make your own. You could, you know, that's up to you. But I do suggest it when you're stamping a little foam cushiony piece, because it really helps the ink meet the paper more smoothly. So there's that. And then she was both the mystery and the masquerade. So we're gonna go ahead and make one more card. I'm going to get out and I'm going to basically create a gallery wall with this kit. And that was my idea when I saw the wallpaper paper is what I'm calling it, the wallpaper paper. And I'm going to definitely save these for my scraps. You could fussy cut these out and put these on elements, right? And projects and junk journals and cards and all of that. Okay, where is, I think it's over there. I don't think I grabbed it. Okay, let me try to be somewhat neat about whatever it is I'm doing. Okay, we're going to put stuff off to the side. I'll try to keep all this together. So, oh, I had them together, didn't I? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to use this as my background. And again, direction, I mean, that's completely up to you how you want to do it. To me, this isn't directional. It can be used in either direction, upside down, right side up, and it still looks like it fits. Like it's still fine. So I'm going to trim this down, and I am going to trim off as much of the white space as I can here because I want to get an even measurement for what that's worth without the white space in it. I don't want the white border on my card. I'm not a big white border girly. It's just too much white. I don't know why. It just kind of, it bothers me. I don't know why. But it does. But I don't mind like a small white border on my cards either, so don't get me wrong, like I do like the borders, but if there's like a lot of white space, I don't know, to me it's like, oh, it needs to be filled up, right? Remember, my measurements on my card weren't perfect either, so this is, let's get this as evenly as we can on here. I feel like I'm looking at it from the wrong direction or something. Try to trim a little bit more down. Okay, see if that'll be a little bit easier. A little bit easier and more uneven. So if you go look on gingerbreadprince.com, let me know, like, what is your favorite project that she has on that website. She's also selling books on Amazon. So if you don't have a printer, don't worry about it. You can buy these in physical form. So that's always really, really nice. Don't feel like you have to go run out and get a printer and start doing all of this home printing, because that's not what this is geared towards. I'm just trying to give you guys ideas and fun little themes and introduce maybe a few new designers to you so you can get inspiration this way. And it just kind of gives you ideas. But she does have the physical kits on Amazon as well. Okay, so, oops, it looks a little bit odd, doesn't it? I think I cut into the card. Oh no, I did. Maybe I didn't see that one clearly. So we're just gonna trim it down just a little bit, just so it's even. That was a lot that trimmer had to go through. That trimmer's a trooper. Okay. Okay, so now my idea is I wanted to make a little bit of like a gallery wall. So I recently put all of my Christmas decorations away because I am filming this on MLK Day. So I'm really grateful to have the extra day off. And I'm grateful that we have such powerful people in our history that stood up for their own rights and the rights of others. So you might hear a little bit of distraction in the background. My cat is sitting in the my daughter's bedroom window, and the landscapers are here. So I would normally just go shut the window, but she's happily sunbathing up there and I don't want to disrupt her. She's an older kitty, so we like her to be comfy. Anyway, so I'm grateful to have somebody in history that we can look up to and, you know, pray that history doesn't repeat itself, and there are things that we can do within our power, right, to make things better and, you know, to where we want to live and what we're happy with. And he definitely took that opportunity, and it's a shame he was cut short, but we still have the education of what he stood for and what other people experienced, and maybe some of us have those similar experiences. So it's just neat that he kind of paved the way for other people, I think. Okay, so now my idea was, and then I was talking because I got sidetracked. I recently took down my Christmas decorations, and I have a gallery wall in my hallway, and I have family photos and a few little inspirational framed things and mostly family stuff. And I left some blank spots on my wall to put some fun new pictures of my grandson up there, so that's exciting. So when I saw these frames, because I was just putting together my wall again yesterday, because I'll have, during Christmas time, I basically redecorate the whole house, and it's like construction. That's how I am. So I basically, for Christmas, it was all Christmas stuff up there, and Christmas pictures of my kids when they were little, and, you know, family pictures and just everything like Christmas related. So now my gallery wall is back to normal. And when I saw this in the kit, I was like, oh, perfect. Like, you could have a card with like a little fun gallery wall on it. So this is where that inspiration is coming from. And a few of the, I'm going to put some of the elements on the photo, so it's not just a blank blue photo, if that makes sense. So maybe some of the things will kind of pop out. Like, is anyone else a fan of Gilmore Girls like I am? Like, I have been since day one. I raised my daughter on that show. We just recently, at Christmas time, went to the Warner Brothers Stars Hollow holiday experience. I forget what they call it exactly. But it was a lot of fun. We took my mom, and then I went with my great friend and her daughter. So it was like a fun girls' day. And they did the living pictures on that one episode when Suki had her baby. Lorelai was a model. That's kind of what I'm picturing here. So I tried to print out the ladies that looked a little bit farther away, so I could put them on this gallery wall in one of these framed pictures. I really like this one because I love her dress. This is a lot of fun too. Like, they're all gorgeous. And I would like to know where I could get these earrings. Just saying. Like, these are beautiful. So I'm going to trim her out, and let's see how much of her we can get to fit on that larger frame. And she can kind of be like her own living picture, right? And I'm going to keep that highlighted behind her. And let's see. Because I think it'll give it like a nice little contrast. And then it doesn't make me feel like I have to like ink it up when my cuts aren't perfectly even. One thing with fussy cutting is you want to try to get rid of the extra stuff that's hanging off, because that'll kind of trip you up and it'll get in the way. So I just try to trim those off and get them out of the way. So I'm only working with what I want. And I really try to just have the scissors glide across my paper, and I just try to move the paper rather than move the scissors. It's kind of just a little fun tidbit. Let's see. I might need my smaller scissors to get up in here. I don't know if my craft knife blade is sharp enough to do that because I've used it a lot. Let's see if how far I can get up in here. I know sometimes with the bigger scissors it gets hard. Ah, I can't see. Okay, there we go. Now, my question for you is, when you watch a pre-recorded video on YouTube, do you craft along or do you just watch to get ideas and then craft later? I do a little bit of both sometimes. I know when I watch like a lot of lives, well, I do watch Biddy Penny, but I can't ever catch that girl live, really, because she starts crafting like at 3 a.m. my time, and it's 5 a.m. her time. So I'll like watch her on my lunch break or listen to her like a podcast in my car. But and other people, when like they go live, like I'll have the TV going and I'll like be chatting with like, you know, my crafty people, and then I'm creating kind of at the same time. So what do you like to do? Okay, I'm just gonna leave it like that. I don't feel the need to see, she's gonna be really big. To be honest, I don't even know if I mind that. But I could trim her down. And she's kind of coming out of the frame, but I don't think that that bothers me really, because this whole, she's going to be up like this. I'm going to prop her up. So I'm going to cut off the bottom. I'm going to cut her off right here. It feels weird just to lob off half of the project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prop her up right here. And then I'm going to trim what's kind of coming off, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see if I can get this to be a little bit smaller though. There we go. Okay. So that's my idea for her. Let's see. These are probably going to be too big, but I thought that those would be fun. Honestly, I might fussy cut a few of these flowers too. Let's see what other elements I have over here in the ephemera pack. This is really neat. That could probably fit. Let's see. I have some of these roses that could definitely fit. And here's more like roses, and they're, I think, too big to put in a framed photo, but we could put, if I really trimmed this down, could cut, this is pretty though. I'm thinking I could trim the clock in there a little bit, and a flower or two. Okay, I think I'm going to use the clock, but I could also use, see, this is just the round, is too much, I think. I wanted to look at this. This is what I wanted to look at too. And I think, I mean, that could just fit the face in there. But let's do the clock. I kind of like the idea of having the clock in there. And I am just going to go ahead and fussy cut around the whole clock. And then decide what fits. I'll kind of do my measuring from there. Because if I pre-do my measuring, I'm going to do it wrong. Guaranteed. It will be off or lopsided. So I'm gonna fussy cut first, measure second, see see how much of that clock we can get in there. It's really fun to like just get like a fun ephemera pack and dissect the ephemera, I think. I think it's a lot of fun, and you can just kind of make your own creation from there. Okay. Okay, so let's see. How we can get that in there. And I'm just going to trace the frame and cut around that and then see where we are. And then see. Now I know I'm not going to be, I just bumped the camera. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to get the whole thing in here. I do know that. Oops. But since we are kind of popping everything up a little bit like it's a living picture, I think it'll be okay. Like the artsiness of it will shine through. Okay. And then we'll decide from here how much more to cut down, because I kind of want to fit it. It can't be the exact same size of the frame, right? So I'm going to cut towards the inside of the clock. And see, we just kind of get a better idea the more we kind of chip away at it, if you will. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to trim it down just a little bit, so we fit it in our frame for our gallery wall. Kind of put it in there. And let's keep trimming away at it. I may not even be able to get the whole bottom part of this in, but I am gonna try. And if this is something that's a little bit too fussy for you, no worries. See, I like it like that, but now we have the darker, like only some of it has that part of it. I'm just gonna try to trim that off just so it looks a little bit more even, okay? And so that is that. One of these, let's see. I'm thinking this one I might leave blank, but that looks like more of a picture to me. So I could kind of go like that and then like this, just see how it kind of comes together. But that already looks like a picture. And then I'm going to fussy cut a rose. I think I'm going to fussy cut this because that's it's really small. Just going to cut apart that bouquet. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to get back out my cutter bees. See, sometimes I do need the small little scissors, and I'm going to put that on a frame and see how I like that as a work of art on our gallery wall on our card. And these don't have to be Valentine's Day gifts. These could just be anything, right? I do like that about this kit. You could really manipulate it to be like Valentine's or Galentine's or whatever, or it could be a birthday card or wish you were here card because maybe you went to the masquerade. I don't know. It could be anything really. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to get out my Pear Blossom press tape. and I'm just gonna cut off a little bit so I'm not working off the roll the whole time. Slide this aside, and I'm just going to put this as center as I can. Okay. Okay. And then just, I'm gonna cut this right down in the middle to make this a little bit smaller. The backing will probably come off with it because the backing comes off so easy, but I think that'll be fine. And just trim it. And this might be too thick. So I need to trim this just a little bit more. And this is really easy to trim, this tape. And I have scissors that I don't mind if it's just for like sticky stuff, just to cut the sticky stuff. So no worries. And remember, I am gonna have to kind of trim it off of the frame or whatever, because I might have to, hold on. I don't know if that's gonna go off the card or not, but see, it just gives it like a living pictures look, right? Okay, now let's, oh, I have more over here. No fear. I have it everywhere now. And I just want to pop everything up just to give it more interest. And there we go. And I'm going to put this right at the bottom. So I like this on here because everything behind it's really light. So that could be like the rose is looking up towards the sunlight, right? Okay, now for our clock. Oh, my house smells so good right now. I just made a sourdough loaf, and I made a dill pickle sourdough loaf. I don't know if you guys are into pickles or not, but I am. I love them. And it smells like baked bread with the hint of that like pickle. Like a pickle brine. I think it smells really good. Okay, I think I want to put this in the center though, and then separate the blue just a little bit. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I have things falling. I don't know if I'll need to trim this off. I thought she was going to be coming off of the card. Like, I know it looks kind of unrealistic having her come off of out of the frame a little bit, but if we're looking for that living pictures feel, it suits what it needs to with this. Okay, I'm gonna try to line everything up the best I can and hope I'm still in frame with you guys. Let's see, I'm gonna have to move it just a little bit. There we go. I need to look at it like head on for myself. Funny little tactics us crafters do to make sure we're trying to get something straight. Ah. Right. Okay. I don't think all the frames, yeah, because that's a little bit of a smaller frame. So, but I just wanted the blue to separate a little bit. I just thought that that was really neat. I like it. Now we just need a sentiment on the inside. And let's see what we want for the sentiments. And then that will be that for today. Or I could just do a strip of the sentiment. Let's see. Some secrets are too beautiful to stay hidden. I like that because I did the whole gallery wall thing. And those were maybe secrets before. But now we have them framed up on the wall so everyone can see them. Okay, I'm just gonna trim this down, and I'm probably going to mat this just a little bit to give it, oops, that's not even either, is it? Okay. Doing my best. I'm gonna try to round it just a little bit. Okay, so that gives it just a little, because it's a little off anyway how I trimmed it. Okay, so I have this gold left, and that's how I'm going to put it on here. And then I just glue it on and kind of, oops, okay. And then that's how mostly how I mat my things. See, it just, the glue comes right off of this paper. It's nice. It doesn't stay there. So I could still use that. Okay, I'm going to, well, do I want to round these corners too? Maybe just a little bit. Now I'm getting a little bit too fussy. But I don't want it to look odd. There we go. Just round that just a little bit. Put that right in the middle. And then that would be done. Again, that's too much white space for me. I was wondering if I should put like another little piece of ephemera or something in there. I like this. Just to kind of add something a little bit more to this card on the inside, makes it a little bit more interesting. Alrighty. There's that. And then we could, you know, put from now. I kind of would like, I did not trim that straight, but I kind of would like to add like a strip of the background from the front of the card on the side over here, and it gives it a little bit more interest. See, so that's where you can kind of tell I'm not a big lover of all that extra white space. I don't know why. So that's why I like ink up a lot of the white space and stuff, because I don't think it needs, still just a little something, right? Just kind of adds, and it lets, it allows me, like if you're purchasing a printable kit, you want to use as much of it as you can, you know, it kind of maximizes your own little dollar there. And her kits are not all that expensive either, so that's nice too. We just want to be able to not contribute to the scrap hoard sometimes we have, and use, we want to use every little bit of what we can. Okay. I am going to, however, ink up around the whole card. This is completely unnecessary. You do not need to do this, but I just want to distress it just a little bit. Kind of gives it more of a authentic vintage feel, because this is like in the Masquerade kit from like the Victorian era. And since I did cut this a little bit wonky earlier in the video, that kind of helps us too. It just a little bit. And I'm going to keep going on the inside of the card, doing that. And then that will be that for the day. I hope you liked the video. Like, comment, and share with your other crafty friends if you think that they would like inspiration like this. Everything's going to be linked below, so you could go check out the kit for yourself and all of the other gorgeous kits. Okay, let me put this down. Here, let's get rid of some of the mess. And here are our 2 cards for today. 2 5x7 cards, same kit, very different results. I like it. I need to stamp the back of this card as well. I really like the gallery wall approach. I could have also put more up here because it did come with more frames. And, you know, you could do like a true gallery wall if that's what you wanted to do. Kind of really fill it up. But I kind of just left this as is because I really like the wallpaper vintage feel. And that is going to be that for this video. I hope to see you guys around soon. I will be live this coming Sunday. My gosh, what is the date? It's going to be like the 24th or 25th, right? Which seems like, wow, January's gone by fast. But you know what? With that sentiment, it's still January, guys. I feel like it's been January for a long time. Okay. I hope you guys find some inspiration. I hope you guys take time for self-care. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you back around. Bye, guys.